Hannah Murray on TRE in the afternoon.
Joining us on the line now is Iain Lee, an award-winning radio presenter, writer and comedian. He finished third in I'm a Celebrity in 2017. Since then, he's trained to be a councillor. He's recently started doing gigs in people's homes for 350 quid. The Sun reported that he's being forced to do it after quitting Fame. He's not being forced to do it. He's just enjoying it. How are you, Iain?
I'm really hot. It may be hotter here in the UK than it is over there. I've just been sat in the garden with my cats, drinking fizzy pop, having the time of my life.
Oh, lovely. I saw your video when you said about how it was too hot for like 5 minutes on the radio, which was quite impressive, to say the least. 5 minutes of just going, it's too hot.
Literally, I'd forgotten. I knew it had happened, but it was, 10 years ago, and I didn't realise it was 5 minutes. I used to have so much fun on the radio. I played a drum roll when I was at LBC, and I knew I was going to lose my job. We had this quiz competition, and this guy phoned in. I went, "Is it the right answer?" And I had a recording of a drum roll that was infinite, and I played it for 12 minutes because I knew I'd lost my job anyway. I played it for 12 minutes, and then when it finished, I said, "We'll find out after these adverts."
Oh,
imagine. That's why I can't get a job anymore.
You got to go out with a bang, haven't you? It's great.
You've got to go out with a 12-minute drum roll, yeah.
I mean, I was going to say, do you miss the radio? But you're still doing bits, aren't you?
I don't miss, like, the bureaucracy of the radio. I mean, I still do stuff. I do stuff with my partner, Catherine. We do a show every Friday night. We do podcasts. I do, like, a million podcasts. So do I miss it? No, I don't really. And I don't think there would be the room for me to come back and do the kind of stuff that I used to do back in the day, because I would just mess around, and I don't think that people like messing around anymore.
Yeah. Comedy's changed, and what you're allowed to say and what you're not allowed to say. I know before radio you started in stand-up comedy, and you say things, and sometimes have got in trouble for saying things. And I really feel for comedians. I think it must be so difficult to know what they can and can't say.
I would disagree. I think you're allowed to say anything. Some things might have consequences, but if you're a comedian, the problem is everything is filmed now. So if you're in a comedy club and you do something and it'll filmed and it'll go up online, listen, you're allowed to do whatever you want. There are still comedians that go out and do racist jokes. Well, that's not very nice, but there will be consequences in that they don't get booked at certain places. I kind of think you've got to be. The 11 o'clock show was 26, 27 years ago, and I have looked back on some of it, and there's a lot of stuff I wouldn't say now, but that's because I'm a 53-year-old dad with responsibilities, and I've lived a bit. And then I was 24, and I was fearless. So, there's stuff that I wouldn't say now, but that's just my own personal choice. You can say what you want in comedy. This whole thing, you can't say anything anymore, you'll get cancelled. No, you won't. You say what you want.
With regards to this doing gigs in people's homes, I mean, I saw the headline and I thought, I saw that you'd shared it on social media and, said that it wasn't the case. It wasn't that you were being forced to do it because, you've got no money and you're desperate and all that kind of stuff. It's not about that. It must be great fun going into people's homes and doing a bit of comedy. You're obviously enjoying it.
Here's where I am. So I lost my job. My last radio job ended in 2020. And for the first time ever, the phone did not ring. Up until then, I'd always had work. And I panicked a bit and I thought, well, what am I going to do? And I retrained. I retrained as a counsellor. Mm-hmm. So I work with, as a therapist with people in mental health. That is now my full-time job. That's what I do. I do it on Zoom. I do it on that sofa back there. So that is my full-time job. And I thought I was done performing. The podcasts were scratching an itch, and I thought I was done performing. Certainly was never going to do a live show in front of an audience again. And then I started, I talked about the 11 o'clock show. I've got so many VHS tapes here of stuff that I did. They just sat in the garage, and I started digitizing them. Listen, I am not sat there watching 3 hours of me. That would be too much. But as they're digitizing and going on YouTube, I'd watch little bits. And I completely reevaluated my TV career. I'd always thought it had been a bit pony, to be honest. And I reevaluated it. And one day I woke up and I had an idea for a show where I would go and show clips from old shows and tell the stories. And I booked a venue and I started doing live shows again. And then I spoke to some musician friends. I got friend Stephen Page, who was in the Bare Naked Ladies, who's had #1 hit records. And my friend Mike West from a band called The Man from Del Monte. And they were telling me about living room gigs that they do it. Mike goes over to America every 3 or 4 months. He'll do 3 living room gigs. That will pay for his trip. And then he goes off and journeys around. Stephen Page has done it. And I'm not the first comedian to do it. Others have done it. And I just thought, wouldn't that be interesting, right? Listen, 350 quid is a lot of money to people. I was on the BBC the other day being interviewed by someone who earns £400,000 a year. And he was like, but Iain, it's only 350 quid. And I find that offensive because it's a lot of money. You know, it's a lot of money. So the money side, I think, is dismissive of the people that book it. And for me, I get invited into the homes of these lovely people and they give me cups of coffee. That is part of the rider as well, as much coffee as you can make. And, I'm not stood there with a microphone going, okay, guys, I'm not doing that. It's a really chilled... it's a bit weird. I show loads of clips of me, some of the good ones, some of the bad ones. I tell the story. It's very conversational. Obviously they're fans of me, otherwise it would be really weird. And I tell the stories and they ask questions and we have a chat and I'm there for a couple of hours. And I think sometimes what people don't get, and you said it, it's really, really enjoyable, right? It's art and I get to connect with people and it's storytelling in a really old-fashioned, traditional kind of way. And I don't think there's anything sad about it. Listen, I'm getting married this year. I got a mortgage and I've got kids, right? And my kids like to eat and I like to pay my mortgage. So the money is handy. The money's important, as well as the counselling work, as well as the theatre shows. But this isn't me sat at home crying because I'm not on the telly anymore. Listen, if a nice paid telly job came up, of course I'd take it, but I did it. I did it. I did it for 25 years and I want to try something a bit different now.
Yeah, good for you. I think it's brilliant.
Thank you. I do as well. The Sun said I was forced to do it. And the Daily Mail said there were concerns for my safety in case I got murdered.
Oh, God.
I'm laughing now. God, if I do get murdered, they'll be playing this clip out, won't they?
Yeah, they will.
Keep a hold of this. This could be big.
Just in case. I have to ask you, can I ask you about the counselling side of things? Because that's...
No, you can't.
Oh, come on.
Of course you can.
No, because it's so interesting. I think it sounds like, in a way, the opposite to what you've been doing, your work and things throughout your life. And I know you've been through it. You've had a tough time in various situations in your life. So training as a counsellor, what made you do it?
It was, like you say, I've lived. I've had stuff happen, and... The radio show that I used to do is very, very silly. One night we made dens. We brought in blankets and duvets and we made dens and did that. But also we talk about mental health and addiction and stuff like that. And we did a show. And one night a guy called up who had taken a lethal overdose. And he went to ICU in the end. He died. They brought him back. And I kept him on the phone for 30 minutes while we waited for the emergency services to come. And it was very distressing for me. I mean, it's about him. I came away very distressed thinking, well, what could I have done differently if I'd have had some training? So the seed was there. I've also had some incredible therapists in my life. I've had some lousy ones as well. So I know what I like. And it was weird. I lost my job in June 2020, and through I kind of tweeted, I'm thinking of becoming a counsellor. And this wonderful woman, I have to name her every time, she's no longer with us, and she changed my life. Annabelle Giles, who was big TV presenter, and she got in touch. I didn't know her. She said, Iain, I used to do what you do. Now I'm a therapist. Let's have a chat, and I'll tell you how I did it. And she kind of became a mentor. I think she started about 4 years ago. It's so sad. She became a mentor and got me on a course, and that's it. And it's my first time job. It's my full-time job. And are there similarities? The thing I've had to learn to do, which I'm not doing here, is I've had to learn to shut up. I have to learn to shut up and actually listen to people. You know, our job is we're paid by the word pretty much, you know. So that was the big thing, is to learn to shut up, which I'm going to do now.
So, very good. So has it been really, as well as obviously you being a counsellor and helping other people, which I guess is the main point and the main aim, has it helped you in a way? Have you learned that the value of learning to listen is a really positive thing? Have you felt the benefits yourself?
Yeah, I have. I mean, any course for counselling, if it's any good, is really intense, and you have to dig deep. And I learned a lot about myself. I learned I'm ADHD. Everyone is these days, but I learned that there. I learned more about empathy, and the thing I will, if I get blasé about this one thing, I need to quit. It is, I am always amazed that someone will come and sit in my living room or on Zoom, and we've never met, and they might in the very first session tell me the worst thing that has ever happened to them that they have never told anybody else. That's the really interesting thing. I always thought, well, the first session they'll be sussing me out and holding back, and some do. But most will come and sit down and say, why are you here? And they're so desperate to say it out loud because they've been holding on to this stuff for years, decades sometimes. And it just comes out. And that, to me, is the greatest privilege. You know, that is, you know, that's more thrilling than being a guest on the One Show. Do you know what I mean? Or being a guest on Jeremy Vine. That, to me, is where it's at. That human connection, you know. It's more important than doing I'm a Celebrity, you know, which was fun. I'm not, you know, it changed my life and gave me some money. But it's that privilege of someone trusting me enough to share that stuff.
It feels, I guess, the word purpose, I know it's branded around a lot, but I suppose it does give you that purpose.
I think we all have different purposes at different times, you know, and my main purpose is to provide for my partner and my two kids and my stepkids. That's the main thing. And I do that with counselling, and I do that with going around to people's houses, and I do that with, you know, playing small theatres and stuff like that. It is a remarkable thing to listen to someone's story. And then for most of the clients, not everyone is ready to do the work, to see them make progress and to see them make connections and realize why perhaps they are indulging in these dangerous, you know, disruptive behaviors, or why they have been so unhappy, and seeing them get to a point where they feel better, I guess. Yeah.
And do you feel that obviously the training and the course that you did has helped and made you able to do what you're doing? But also, do you feel, because of the way you lived your life previously and the experiences you've had, has that helped as well, you to really understand what some of these people are going through? I
love drugs, right? I love drugs, right? It's too much. And so I have had a lot of problems with addiction, primarily drugs, but other things as well. You know, I'm 5.5 years clean. So I do.
Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you very much indeed. That's something I am very proud of. Yeah. So I didn't want to work with addicts, because addicts can be quite unreliable people. But I got a load of addicts, because you get the clients you need. And actually it can be really good, because I can share my experience. It can be really heartbreaking, though, when an addict, a sex addict or an alcoholic or a drug addict, doesn't want to hear, doesn't want the help. They've come here because maybe they've said to their partner they'll go and see a therapist, or they want to know. The phrase that we use in AA is I wanted to learn how to drink like a gentleman. Well, that is impossible for me. If I have a beer, it's game over. It is game over. It's going to be carnage. So that can be heartbreaking when you have someone in front of you who's not ready to do it yet. And I can't make them do it. And that's another thing I've had to learn is I can't fix people. They have to want to get better. I can't force it on them.
Yeah. You must be always learning as you're doing it. And each client is going to be different and wanting something different.
You learn every single day. You learn about them. You learn things that perhaps you can take to someone else. And I learn about myself every day. You know, it's, I don't want to get, no, I will get soppy. It's amazing. Can I see myself? I think the nice balance would be maybe doing the counselling 2 days a week, 2 or 3 days a week, and performing once a week, twice a week, you know, get that kind of balance going. I think I'm ready to do more performing. But the performing has helped in the counselling, and the counselling has helped in the performing. You know, I had to interview Ray Davies from the Kinks. My God, if you can sit opposite him for 45 minutes and not have him walk out, you can counsel. Trust me. Miserable so-and-so.
Oh, dear. So, I mean, I think it's nice to wear different hats. You know, instead of being pigeonholed, I am this, you know, I am a radio presenter and that's all you do and that's all you are. And to be identified as that, even though it is just a job, to be able to put on different hats that are very different is great. It's more fulfilling in life.
You're not allowed to, though, because if you have some... Listen, I was never... 11 o'clock show, I was a little bit famous. I'm a celebrity. I was big famous for a short time, right? So if you've been in there, the press won't let you change. Instead of going, oh, this is interesting, he's counselling and he's doing this and he's doing... They see it as a perceived failure because I'm not on telly anymore. I was on telly for, you know, I was in show business for 25 years, which is a really, really long time. And then it stopped. And I hate this thing of shaming. You know, people think because you're on the telly, you're rich. Well, the last time I was really on the telly was I'm a Celebrity 2017. That's a long time ago. Yeah. And I've got divorced since then. So that money, I hardly saw that. I could feel it falling through my fingers. So it doesn't mean, I'm not, I'm comfortable. And listen to me, I'm trying to justify. Don't need to justify anything. No. I'm having the time of my life.
No,
I'm having the time of my life.
Well, yeah, what I'm trying to say is you can wear different hats. Ignore the British press. You absolutely can.
Yeah, and it's nice. And I think as I get older, I think it's a nice thing to do. I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah. Be proud, be happy. Yay.
I am. I'm content. Contentment is more of an aim for me. I'm content. Yeah. I have moments of happiness. I have moments of sadness. Today is great. I get to chat to you. After this, I'm going to sit in the garden and read. What a life, you know. It's a blessing.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, it's been great to chat with you. Iain Lee, thank you so much for joining us. If people want to check out everything you're doing, whether it's counselling, whether it's the living room tour, whatever they may want your services for, they can do it all on your website, yeah?
Just be careful with that phrase, because I did do a show in Bath. And I know we're winding up, but during the show, it was a couple. The man went out and he came back and he brought a chair and he sat on this chair and watched me. It was weird. I don't know. It was weird. There was some weird vibe going on. So I will come and do comedy shows at your house. That's it. There's no extras involved. No. Yeah, just Google me. I'm on the internet these days.
Nice one. For all kinds of things. Iain Lee, thank you so much for joining us. Great to chat with you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.